Coming up tonight on the news at 5.
I'm not a hero, I'm just a dad doing what a dad would do.
A Choteau father is credited with saving his family from a weekend house fire. Plus, Governor Greg Gianforte says that the state has been given approval to redirect 20,000 unused doses of the COVID-19 vaccine.
From Montana's news leader, this is MTN News at 5.
Well, good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to the News at 5. I'm Andy Curtis, and thanks for joining us. A Choteau father is recovering today after rescuing his children from the family's burning home. The father suffered multiple third-degree burns, and today he spoke exclusively with MTN's Colter Onstadt about the experience.
I was about 2 in the morning. I don't know what made me wake up, but I woke up and there was just flames and fire. And the first thing I could think of was, try to get some water. And, so I grabbed a pail of water, and once I got up to the room, it was engulfed. It was too much, the pail of water wasn't going to work. So, and my kids were on the other side of the fire, and it was one of them things, I ran, and as soon as I could feel them, because it's dark, and as soon as I grabbed them, felt them, I grabbed them and got out of there.
Saturday, January 30th is a day Kane Gray will not forget.
I didn't even realize I was hurt until everybody was downstairs and all the animals were outside. And then we just all cried, and then I had to get to the hospital.
His hands and left foot are now wrapped in bandages, protecting his severe second-degree burns, and he has to use a wheelchair to get around.
Dad.
What, Mom?
Hey, Dad, burn.
Okay.
His daughter received a minor burn, but his other 2 children and the rest of his family escaped unharmed.
And I'm extremely grateful for the community here in Choteau. Miss Graham and Pastor Kim at the Trinity Lutheran Church, and everybody who's donated and reached out. People have said, oh, you're a hero. I'm not a hero, I'm just a dad doing what a dad would do.
In Choteau, Colter Onstadt, MTN News.
A GoFundMe account has been set up to help the family, and you can find a link to that in this story up on our website. And now with a look at our weather, Chief Meteorologist Curtis Grevenitz.
Well, good afternoon, Andy. Good afternoon, everybody. Happy Groundhog Day to you all. And Groundhog, of course, yesterday you watched Ritz, the puppy, pick that there will be 6 more weeks of winter. But I digress. Groundhog Day, Punxsutawney-Phil, Pennsylvania saw the shadow here. And there's certainly some shadows out there today with all that sunshine. But we've got winter weather advisories here. See, the groundhog and the puppy didn't lie. Winter weather advisory northeast Montana and for areas closer to the Continental Divide. This does not include Great Falls proper, really south of town, closer to the Big Belts and the Little Belts mountains here. But Helena, this does include the Helena area. Right now, I know you're thinking, how's it going to snow? It's so warm. Well, a cold front is working its way through the western part of the state here. We'll likely see through this evening an increase in the showers, but also an increase in the snow. A little mix of rain and snow tonight into tomorrow morning. Your appetizer is up here, folks, because the main dish comes in just a couple of days. We've got significant cold and significant snow. More in the forecast later on the show.
Republicans on the Montana House Committee on Tuesday revived and then approved a bill that would end Election Day voter registration here in the state. The House Senate Administration Committee had tabled the bill last week, but on successive 10-9 votes Tuesday morning, it revived the bill, then advanced it to the House floor. The committee did amend the bill, setting the cutoff time for voter registration at noon on Monday before Election Day, instead of the bill's original cutoff time of 5 p.m. Friday before Election Day. All 7 Democrats on the committee and 2 Republicans voted against the bill. Representative Marvin Weathermax of Browning, a member of the Blackfeet tribe, called the bill, quote, voter suppression.
Our people all need to vote. Our people all need a voice. We were deemed citizens of the United States in 1924. We've endured fraud, intimidation, voter tax. We've endured all of those things. Now we have this little, it seems small, but it's big.
The bill will likely be on the House floor for debate and vote later this week. Montanans had made Election Day voter registration since 2006. And Governor Greg Gianforte says Montana has reached an agreement to redirect nearly 20,000 unused COVID-19 vaccines in the state. The vaccines were originally allocated to CVS and Walgreens for use in long-term care facilities. Gianforte said they identified about 19,500 doses that will not be needed. He said the state asked the federal government to let them reallocate the vaccines, and they approved. The state will order the vaccines this week and direct them to hospitals around the state. They plan to work with local partners to set up community vaccine clinics in the coming weeks.
Every dose Montana receives is critical, which is why I promised you in my first week in office that we wouldn't let vaccines sit on the shelves. Today, we're following through on that promise.
The redirected doses will all be of the Pfizer vaccine, which requires ultra-cold storage. The state says they'll be used as first doses and second doses for about 10,000 people. And active cases of COVID-19 in Montana continue to hold steady. As of today, there are about 3,400 active cases. Active hospitalizations rose to 116. And deaths in the state do continue to rise. 17 more deaths have been reported since last night, bringing the statewide death total to 1,261. 112 of those 15 new deaths were reported in Cascade County today and are from routine case reallocations between local and state authorities. Well, the Great Falls United Way chapter, and local car dealership are teaming up to provide people with masks. Today, more than 50 nonprofits in and around Great Falls had the opportunity to come to Bison Ford in the Electric City to get masks. The Cascade County United Way invited them. More than 15,000 masks were donated to the dealership by Ford, and tomorrow the public can stop by and pick one up.
I think there's certainly a need in Great Falls, and I know that the nonprofits certainly, it wasn't a line item budget going into this year. There's a lot of outlay for personal protective equipment, and this would be one way to ease that burden on our nonprofits.
The more masks that we get out into the community, the better. So this was a terrific opportunity, and we just wanted to help spread the word.
Ford has offered masks to all their Ford dealerships across the country. And an anonymous donor has pledged $80,000 in matching funds for the Montana Community Foundation COVID recovery efforts, if the organization can raise the same amount by the end of May, that is. The organization's disaster relief fund has previously helped with communities that were affected by wildfire, flooding, and other disaster events. MCF is actively looking at ways to use the funding to support rural Montana communities that have been hit hard by the pandemic, particularly rural communities that don't have any other type of nonprofit support system.
What we know in these rural communities is they're all driven by volunteers. Very few of them have, a formalized nonprofit organization with paid staff, with all of those systems in place.
The grants from the MCF for COVID recovery will be very flexible so that each community can use them to best serve their unique recovery needs. More information about the fund and how to make a donation can be found on our website. Alma Smith Jacobs was the first African American to serve as Montana State Librarian. Before that, she was the director of the Public Library in Great Falls, where her memory now lives on. In her tenure, Jacobs was instrumental in the building of a new library in 1967. The same library still is used in Great Falls today. Now, Jacobs served as the Montana State Librarian until 1981. And the Union Bethel African Methodist Church was first built by congregation members in 1891. The church represents patterns of black community growth in western U.S. states and is closely tied to the historical development of the African community in Great Falls. In 2003, Union Bethel AME Church was listed in the National Register of Historic Places. And when we come back, Chief Meteorologist Curtis Grevenitz will have a complete check of your forecast, and later, art helps a Helena woman pivot during the pandemic.
Tracker weather starts now with Chief Meteorologist Curtis Grevenitz.
All right, welcome back, everybody. Up to 59 degrees in Great Falls today. Right now, 49 degrees, still very mild. South wind up to gusting as high as about 25, 30 miles per hour earlier today. In Helena, what a beautiful day, and then the clouds rolled in, still 54 degrees. South wind has been gusty 20, 25 miles per hour, but Havre down to 45 after a high of over 60 in Havre. You can see some of the temperature starting to cool down. Cut Bank down to 38 in Kalispell, but still most of the state is pretty mild right now. And there you can see the wind speeds. It's a little windy, but certainly not as bad as a couple, 3 weeks ago here, all of those wind events that we had. On the radar, you can see a little rain here on Groundhog Day. Maybe a couple of sprinkles approaching the high line here, but a little better chance of some of that precipitation reaching the ground down around Augusta. Looks like right around Choteau. May have had just a couple of sprinkles. Some snow up on top of the Rocky Mountain front around Helena. Maybe a few sprinkles closer to the Continental Divide, and up on the Divide it is snowing here already, and this area stands to see maybe a couple inches of snow, especially into the higher terrain here tonight. Helena, probably not much in the valley, but you get close to the capital, and then in that elevation south of town, we might get an inch or two of snow here. There's a decent amount of precipitation, moisture coming through, raining in Missoula right now, but boy, you don't have to head too high up in elevation for it to transition over to snow. So we've got that system pushing into the northwest and still dealing with some snow and as much as 3 feet of accumulation into parts of New Jersey and eastern Pennsylvania. So back here in Montana, not 3 feet of snow, a couple of mixed rain and snow showers breaking out across the north central part of the state here through the evening hours. And around Helena, likely seeing some rain showers in the valley, but going over to some snow here through the evening hours. And look at this, by about 11:30 tonight, a couple of rain showers, some snow into the Bear Paw Mountains across north central Montana, the Little Belts, the Big Belts, and then around Helena and right up the Continental Divide, picking up some of that snow after about 11, 12 o'clock here tonight into early tomorrow morning. White Sulphur Springs, Deep Creek Pass, picking up some snow, and by early tomorrow morning, 5, 6, 7 o'clock, there will be a little transition from rain over to snow around the Glasgow area. And then a few snow showers popping here into the afternoon, pretty much across a good part of the central and western areas in the state here. Thursday starts out quiet, but clouds increase, and look at that top left-hand side of your screen. Snow increasing through late afternoon and the evening hours, and Thursday night into Friday we'll likely see a bit of snow, but there's that accumulation. Marr County, extreme southern Cascade County, Broadwater, Jefferson County, and then right up the Continental Divide, you can see some of that accumulation. And again, we get a heavier burst of some snow later this evening around the Helena area. Might coat the ground here and all the way into Thursday morning. So the mountains of south central and southwestern Montana doing pretty well. Here's the forecast for tonight. Eventually getting cold. Yeah, 13 in Babb, 12 in Rudyard. After midnight tonight, a couple of mixed rain and snow showers pushing their way out through eastern Montana. Some snow towards the morning hours, wee hours of the morning around Lewistown and over the Little Belts. And around Helena, some mixed rain and snow showers this evening. Going over to snow in Helena, Boulder, Elliston, Great Divide, Deer Lodge, maybe even Townsend, picking up a little coating of some snow. Here's the forecast for tomorrow. Colder day for sure. Certainly not that cold. All right, Rudyard's at 17. Some snow showers here, some snow in the morning around Glasgow, some snow in the morning around Lewistown, and we'll have some snow showers around the Helena area as we go through the day here on Wednesday. All right, timing of some of this snow coming through Thursday night into Friday. Friday night into Saturday, Sunday afternoon, Sunday night into Monday, and maybe not sub-zero in Helena, but certainly very close. And for Great Falls, some mixed rain and snow this evening, some snow showers tomorrow, Thursday night into Friday, Friday night into Saturday, Sunday, most of the day into Monday, and look at those lows getting below zero.
Well, when COVID cut into one Helena woman's online consulting business, she adjusted with a new creative business plan. Her newfound passion features beautiful and functional art that also preserves some precious memories. MTN's Tim McGonigal explains.
Rainey Smith's online advertising consulting business was humming right along until COVID hit. When she discovered a laser engraver online and helped a friend build a table, a business idea was born. She could make intricate, heartfelt engravings on beautiful wood.
It will engrave down to the thickness of a piece of hair. So you can take a recipe card from your grandmother, who you haven't seen in 20 years because she's been gone, and you can put it on a piece of wood and hang it in your kitchen and have it there forever.
Rainey, who doesn't have a woodworking background, started the business in November. The Christmas season proved surprisingly successful.
In the month before Christmas Day, I think I did between 50 and 60 items.
Her portfolio includes cutting boards, wall hangings, dog leash holders, and engraved knives. She even engraved a poem that she'll send to British comedian Miranda Hart, who lost her dog recently and has been an inspiration to Rainey. The creative freedom allowed her to make a special wall hanging for some Star Wars-loving friends celebrating an anniversary.
I finally got to use my Star Wars font, and it ended up really looking good. It was a piece of spalted maple with a little light live edge on top, and it just really looked amazing.
Rainey admits she's not good at perfect squares and won't take a cookie-cutter approach in her projects, making each creation one of a kind.
There's holes, there's knots, there's grain. Those imperfections are what make this stuff unique. When I go buy something that is from a small, crafty business, I want something unique.
The Helena High graduate, who moved back to her native California after high school, has been back in Big Sky Country for about 5 years, overcoming obstacles while picking up a new passion.
And it's just been a lot more fun. I've been doing online advertising for 20 years, and to be honest, this is creating things, and it's really been a great time. And then I just sand the scorch off.
In Helena, Tim McGonigal, MTN News.
Rainey insists on buying all of her material locally. She gets her wood from Helena Hardwoods, her tools and supplies from Power Townsend, and the knives she engraves from Capital Sports. And stick around, because coming up next on the News at 5, a Montana man is a finalist in a nationwide art competition, and now he needs the community's help. We'll tell you how coming up next.
From Montana's news leader, you're watching MTN News at 5.
Welcome back, everybody. Here's a story very near and dear to my heart. A Great Falls artist has been selected as a finalist in the 2020 Pabst Blue Ribbon Art Can competition, and he's now looking for your help. MTN's Cassandra Soto met up with the artist.
As soon as I got the message, I was just so excited. I started crying, honestly.
Great Falls multimedia artist Thomas Dunn is one of the top 25 submissions selected in the Pabst Can Art Contest. Some 4,000 entries were submitted from around the world. Dunn hopes his piece, titled Super Duper Canland, can take home first prize.
It's like eye candy, it's just meant to be really pleasing to the eye. What I was going for with that piece is I wanted it to look like you could just pick up a video game controller and just start playing the can, as if it were a TV. So I just wanted something that was alive and bright and vibrant.
The Pabst Art Contest is open to public vote on the top 3 winners, where first place will receive $10,000 and have their submission printed on Pabst cans nationwide. Dunn says if he wins, the money will be used to enrich the art culture in his hometown.
So my intentions with the prize money were actually pre-COVID, pre-pandemic. My plans were to start an art collective, and I fully intended to have pop-up galleries and collaborate with a lot of my young artist friends, and sort of bring that revitalization, that rejuvenation to the Great Falls art scene that I think it has been lacking for so long.
In Great Falls, Cassandra Soto, MTN News.
Very cool stuff. A link to cast your vote for Super Duper Canland is up on our website. And remember, voting closes on February 17th. Contest winners will be announced on October 1st of this year. And stick around, we'll wrap things up here when we come back. But first, here's Lester Holt with what we can expect tonight on the NBC Nightly News.
When we welcome our West Coast viewers tonight, the stepped-up effort to identify new COVID variants spreading in the U.S. and a horrifying new projection. Also, with so many families going hungry, we asked the Biden administration why government food assistance is so difficult to secure. On Nightly News.
From Montana's news leader, you're watching MTN News at 5.
Well, Curtis mentioned it earlier, but just in case you missed it, 6 more weeks of winter. That's the latest prediction from Punxsutawney Phil. Phil and his inner circle delivered the 135th prediction virtually this year without the usual crowd at Gobbler's Knob in Pennsylvania. Organizers still made the annual celebration fun, though, by piping in the traditional crowd noise and even including cardboard cutouts of the rodents' fans. In the end, Phil saw a shadow, meaning 6 more weeks of winter. But of course, we knew that last night when Ritz predicted the same thing. Thanks for watching and making us a part of your evening. We'll see you back here at 6.